honest and routine inquiries with Guy Berryman and Chris Martin of Coldplay. Welcome to our show. Right, Chris. Right, now I'm marvellous record, superb stuff. I've been playing it a bit, and it's a great record, but it's a lot of pressure because of the success that you've now attained. Everybody's, you know, it's like a lot of stress. Do you find that sort of the pressure's been hard?
To us, it's just about what we do in the studio. You know, we don't sort of get bogged down with numbers and figures, and so when we sort of close the door behind us in the studio, it doesn't really affect us, and all we're really trying to do is show off to each other and try and make better music than we've made before.
That's a very good point. Would you agree with this, that one of the key elements to being a success in music is that you need to have the desire to show off at it?
Definitely, you know, we do a lot of solos behind closed doors that no one ever sees.
Yeah,
we do all the darkness stuff, you know, we all wear leotards.
Yes. Well, I saw that earlier. It was rather shame you didn't want to do it on the
We wear
show.
these big wigs, you know, on our own terms we go a lot further into the rock stratosphere.
Yes.
Welcome to Trimming the Musical Fat, the podcast where we trim albums that are too damn long. I'm Stephen Nicholson, and today I'm stepping back in time to when Coldplay were good, to start creating the under 50-minute TTMF Supercut of their 2005 album, X and Y. An album even Coldplay wished was 10 minutes shorter. Fact. And bringing a further Y chromosome to the show today is my friend and guest, Davie Melon.
Do you want to get close to Coldplay? You and a friend could come to London for an exclusive MTV 5-star concert. For more information, go to mtv5star.com.
This is Caroline.
And this is Marisa.
We're the Eves, and you're listening to Trimming the Musical Fat.
So X and Y is the first studio album by British band Coldplay, released on the 6th of June 2005 by Parlophone in the UK, and a day later by Capitol Records in the United States. They're facing high anticipation globally. X and Y received positive reviews overall and was a significant commercial success, reaching number 1 on the charts of 32 different countries. And it spawned the singles Speed of Sound, Fix You, Talk and The Hardest Part. Despite its success, the band's opinion of the album has soured over time, largely due to the turbulent dynamic they experienced during recording, as well as their disappointment in the final product. So, including its hidden track, Till Kingdom Come, there are 13 tracks on the album, and its duration is 62 minutes, which means we need to lose at least 12 minutes today. So, X and Y received generally positive reviews from music critics. Blender hailed it as Coldplay's masterpiece. NME described it as confident, bold, ambitious, bunged with singles and impossible to contain, and added that it reinforces Coldplay as the band of their time. Q Magazine found it substantially more visceral and emotionally rewarding experience than both of its predecessors. The album has a 3.1 out of 5 rating on rateyourmusic.com and a 3.7 out of 5 rating on Music Board. Now, sales-wise, the album has sold over 12 million copies. It got to number 1 here in the UK and also number 1 in the US. Here went 9 times platinum, and over the pond in the US 3 times platinum. So there we are, Davie. Lots of information about X and Y, but let's talk about Coldplay, the band itself. So what are your thoughts on the band, and when did you first get into them?
It would have been with their actual first album came out. I really loved it, and then they weren't as the global mega stars that they are now, so it felt kind of like something a band I'd discovered. They were more along the lines of like the post-indie band, where I like a lot of or Britpop, where there's a lot of guitar work involved in there. So they sort of like checked all the boxes for me with their first album, Parachutes. Like a lot of great songs on there, and like I say, it was like before they went mega. Was it Rush It Blood to the Head? Is that the second album?
Yep.
It's like I liked that. It was a bit patchy, that album. It was more like half the songs. It's like every second song was brilliant, but every other song was really set the world alight. And then this album came out, and I just genuinely loved it. Especially the first half of it is incredible. And then that was probably the last CD, one of the last Coldplay CDs I bought before everyone moved on to MP3s and LimeWire and getting all the hooky albums from that. So it was probably one of the last CDs of theirs that I bought in a physical copy. As they've gone on over the years, I think I've not really been as into them as in terms of buying their albums or listening to their albums. Stick it on if it was a new album, stick it on for a couple of listens to, then just forget about it, or just add a couple of songs that I like onto a playlist so they appear in a gym playlist somewhere. But and I think it became a bit. I think the public started to turn on a wee bit, just thinking, he's just a. Once he went full Hollywood with Marion. Was Gwyneth Paltrow and then naming his baby Apple. I think people just kind of went a bit up his own arse a bit. Become the new Bono.
Yeah, 21st century Bono. It's funny you're talking about what I think of Coldplay, because I was at, well, for those that listen to the show regularly, you'll know the three people I'm about to mention, but I was at a kind of dinner and movie night at Paul Murphy's on Saturday night just there, and my brother Paul and Ross Braidwood were there. And I did mention we were going to be recording this episode tonight, which then led to a lengthy discussion about the merits or lack of Coldplay. And I wish I'd been able, I wish I'd recorded it because it was good stuff. But yeah, for me, I was a bit resistant to them initially around the time of Parachutes, and I remember the song that really got me into them was In My Place. I still vividly remember driving along the Edinburgh bypass when the song came on the radio, and I think it might have been its first radio play. And I remember thinking, who's that? Is it Coldplay? And I remember turning up thinking, that is superb. And to cut a long story short, from there, I remember Alison bought me the Rush of Blood to the Head CD for me for Christmas that year, and loved it. And that really continued with X and Y, which I thought was great, through to Viva La Vida, which was obviously a bit of a different sound for the band, but yeah, great. I think that was about the last CD I ever bought, was that album. But I think from there on in, that was what, 2008. I think the how much I've liked their albums has kind of gradually decreased, and I think the last 10 years or so, I don't want to use the word hate, but when you kind of love a band and you really like their stuff, and they move on to a different sound and you just don't rate it at all. That's kind of where I am with Coldplay, and I know they've tried to change with the times. They want to remain relevant, but they've kind of went down this pop route, and it just does not do it for me at all. And what was the name of the last album again before the current one? Was it the Moon Music?
Music for the Spheres. They didn't even have song titles, like emojis is what they.
Yeah. And again, I remember I actually first listened to that at the gym. I remember it was a Friday morning or something. Let's give it a blast, brand new Coldplay album. And I kind of I was at the gym just thinking, this is crap. And my opinion's not changed. I think it's a terrible album. Really, really terrible.
It's got a couple or two decent songs. I think Higher Power's not bad, especially Live and My Universe. But other than that, the songs on there I don't even know. Like track 11, an infinity sign. Track 9, a circle with a wee bit black. Track 6, the heart emoji. Like I don't even know what the other two are. Is like a star. It's just like, boy, dude.
But you've got duets with Selena Gomez and BTS, and for me, I was just thinking, what are you doing? So I don't rate it. Although, yes, I will say there is an absolutely fantastic song in there, which might be the last one, which is totally different to everything else on it. And I'm just trying to look it up because I've totally forgotten the name of it. Colatura, which is over 10 minutes long, and it's more kind of prog rock type thing, but it's great. And I would have liked more of that.
I tell you what, though, the Moon music, like that album, like if you listen to that with your headphones, you can really hear a lot of it. It's very atmospheric. It's a really good listen. I quite like it, actually.
I may delve into it then on your recommendation. Be damned. But one Coldplay album we can definitely agree on that we both think's great is X and Y. So yeah, what's your kind of overall thoughts on it?
Like I say, when I first bought it, like because it was a CD as well, so I would be chomping about the walking back and forward to places like with that in the CD player. I probably used to get to my destination within about half an hour or so. So, and which was perfect because like the first 6-7 songs of that album are just absolutely incredible. It's just like the perfect album. And if they just stopped at speed of sound and left the rest of the songs off, then the album would be like 5 out of 5,
Right.
10 out of 10. But, like I never really, when I get to like the second side, I kind of skip forward to the occasional song, so doesn't attract my attention too much. But certainly the first 6 songs, and if you add Speed of Sound, which I believe is the first song on the second side of the vinyl, it's just like probably one of the perfect albums of that year.
I think I bought the CD on the day it came out, and if I remember correctly, I'm sure Oasis released their "Don't Believe the Truth" album almost around about that same time. So they were pretty much a fixture on the car CD player. Literally just changing those 2 CDs for a good couple of months. But yeah, I loved X and Y. And yes, it is too long. There's no getting away from it. I could have lost a couple of tracks. I know the band think that now as well. But yeah, there's just so many really top-notch songs on here, and I like the overall sound of the album, the kind of space age rocky type synth music going on. So I would rate it 4.5 out of 5. What would you rate it, Davey?
I'm going to say 4.25.
Okay, that's
If I just had the first 6 songs of the album, it would be 5. But if I just had the other 6 songs, the second side on its own, that would probably be struggling to just touch a 3.
yeah. It's that's a very exacting score, 4.25. And what do you think about the artwork?
It's just like genetic code or something like that. It's just like some scientific. I'm not sure what is it the genetics for X and Y then?
I think so, yeah. But that's what I like about it, the simplicity and the dark blue colouring on it there. Yeah, I like it. It's just nice and simple and strong. And what's your favourite song on the album?
For me, it's Fix You.
Fix You, okay. I would go with What If, the second track on the album, which is tremendous. And what is your all-time favourite Coldplay song?
My favourite, and I always love seeing it live because when the drummer gets out, just starts smashing the bellways hammer, is Viva La Vida.
That was in contention for me as well. It's live. That is different class. But yeah, I'd go with Clocks, which I think is absolutely tremendous. And you've seen Coldplay live, haven't you?
I haven't. No,
You've not? Okay.
I've not been to a tribute.
Right. Okay. Well, I think they're touring. Is it this year, 2025?
I tried to look. I looked into getting tickets, but this was before the Oasis ones came out. They were charging about 150 quid as well. I was like, I like them as much as that. They are like Glastonbury, like on the telly. They're just phenomenal live, and I would love to see them live. I do know there's a Coldplay tribute act coming up
That's right.
in the next few weeks in the Corn Exchange.
Yeah, that'll be infinitely cheaper. You have to see the band twice. So Glasgow in 2009 and Manchester in 2012. And the Glasgow one was really really memorable. That was with Jay-Z supporting, and one of the best concerts I ever went to. What was that?
How much was the ticket back then?
Much cheaper than it is now, that's for sure. But yeah, it was honestly one of the best concerts I ever went to. The band were fantastic, and of course that concert was obviously in support of the Viva La Vida album. And you're talking about Viva La Vida, the song itself. See that live, Davie. That cannons of confetti going off, and it's honestly one of the best things I've ever seen live. It was, and the crowd singing it and everything. It really was special. And do you remember what the first Coldplay kind of product or CD, record, whatever that you ever bought?
Yeah, it would have been then, but I would have bought the Parachutes album. I don't think I bought any of our CD singles. But yeah, definitely Parachutes at the time it came out, or shortly after.
For me, it was a Rough Your Blood to the Head CD.
Hey, this is Marv from Pods Like Us, the show where we help you to find your next podcast addiction. And you're listening to Trimming the Musical Fat.
Time to start curating side one of our record. So for selection, we're including all 13 songs that featured on the original 2005 CD release of the album. Let's dive into them. And to get on, basically me and Davie had to try and agree on the track listing. And I have to say, Davie, we, for a change, were pretty much in unison, which makes the episode really very easy to do. So they're almost, I think, with the exception of one song, they're all unanimous choices. So let's go with it. And the first track, and it is the first track on the album, on the CD itself, is Square One. And here it is.
From the top of the first page to the end of the last day, from the start in your own way, you just want somebody listening to what you say. It doesn't matter who you
was Square One, and a couple of facts in relation to it. So the ending of the track was inspired by Space Oddity by David Bowie, where you get that acoustic bit at the end. And the track was made in a rehearsal room above where the tracks for the rest of the album were being mixed. So, Square One, are we getting off to a strong start here, Davie?
Definitely, I can remember buying the CD and just popping it on, just walking home, and this song comes on, and it's just it's like a perfect intro. It's even the very start, it just sounds like it's just like a sort of like an overture just breaking into the album, and then it just turns the gears all the way up, and it doesn't relent until after the seventh track. It's brilliant. I really love. I think it's a great opening track.
Strong start to the album, and I think it straight off the bat is signifying a slight change in sound for the band, which then continues over the rest of the record. So there is a more synthy space rock vibe to it. In this song, I do like the chunky guitars, which are really quite high in the mix. And overall, just a really good start to the album with better things to come. Talking of which, the second unanimous choice, which is What If?
That's right. Let's take a breath, jump over the side. That's right. How can you believe if you don't even try?
So What If was written by Chris Martin on the piano while the band was touring the Rush of Blood to the Head album. And I'll maybe kick us off on this. So yeah, this is my favourite song on the record, and I think it's an amazing song. One of Coldplay's best. And it actually starts off a bit like, I don't know if you agree with me, Davey, it starts off a bit like the Beatles' You Never Give Me Your Money, that piano. That's what always reminded me of that. It's got a great Chris Martin vocal. I think the orchestration on it as well is sublime, and you've got a rocket of a chorus there when the band kick in, and it's got a brilliant ending. Just to bring in another Beatles reference, it kind of builds up a bit like A Day in the Life towards its climax. So yeah, brilliant tune. You in agreement?
I am. I think you're right there, because I think there's other songs on the album as well where you can definitely see not only a Beatles influence, but more specifically an Abbey Road.
Mhm.
So like in this one is like the song in Abbey Road with Paul McCartney on the piano, but that's what I love about this song. It's just like the gentle piano opening, and then you hear the strings coming in shortly after that, and then it just breaks into the full. Everyone's there, and it's brilliant. It's one of these ones where you're in your car and you just sing along. You can actually just scream along to it. It's great.
What If gets on, the second track on the Supercut. The third track is the third track on the album, and it's White Shadows. And here's a bit of it.
Maybe you get what you wanted. Maybe you stumble upon it. Everything you ever wanted in a permanent state. Maybe you know when you see it. Maybe if you say it, you'll mean it. And when you find it, you keep it in a permanent state. A permanent state.
So, White Shadows. This song is actually a tribute to Gwyneth Paltrow's father, Bruce Paltrow, the famous Hollywood producer, and among the many shows to his credit was the 70s comedy drama The White Shadow, which is about a white high school basketball coach with a team full of black players. So,
Yeah, again, it's just like it's not letting up after the first song. It's just continuing like the high trajectory this first side of the album has got for me. I love the guitars on it. It's almost like a wall of sound going on there, and it's how it brings in like the synth organs towards the end, and then it nicely segues right straight into Fix You. After that, it's brilliant.
yeah, I love the segue to Fix You as well. And this one has kind of got a similar vibe and sound to Square One. It's got a great kind of central guitar motif throughout a really catchy chorus. And the last 60 seconds of this track are great when everything drops and all you've got for a period of time are just the keyboards. And then you've got Chris Martin's vocals coming back in. Yeah, tremendous stuff. It really is. And talking of tremendous stuff is the most well-known song and one of Coldplay's most well-known songs, and it is "Fix You," and here it is.
Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you.
So "Fix You" was the second single from the album, and it got to number 4 here in the UK. And the band frontman Chris Martin developed the song to comfort his then wife, actress Gwyneth Paltrow, after her father died. So yeah, this song's so ubiquitous that it's hard to think of a time when it didn't exist. So it's a beautiful song. It's actually a very simple song, and I do love the sentiment behind it. I like the organ on it, making it sound almost like a church hymn, and I think Chris Martin's vocals on it are are excellent, and I love the positive resolution to it with the whole band kicking in for the final part of the song. And yeah, this is rightly regarded as a classic, and I firmly believe it is, and definitely one of the highlights of the album and of Coldplay's career. I think this was your favourite on the album, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I just love it. It's probably their biggest sing-along song going. I don't think everyone would favourite song at a concert, I would imagine. I remember like seeing like the video for it on MTV all the time, and it was like great. Love with the playing about with the light that was hanging down until it went into the massive chorus, and he would just swing the light out into the concert and the crowd. It was good. I just love like you say, the way the quiet organ starts, and it just builds up as it goes along. Then the guitars come in, but while the guitars are playing, you can just hear the cymbals going away in the background. And then shortly after that, like the drums just smash in, and it just goes next level. It's a brilliant way they've built that song up.
Fix You is on there, and that brings us to the final track on side one of our Supercut. It's another single, and it's Talk.
You could take a picture of something you see. In the future, where will I be? You could climb a ladder up to the sun, or ride a solo body and song, or do something that's never been done.
Okay, that was Talk, the third single from the album, and a strange fact to share, but here it is. It was the band's first #1 single in the Netherlands. And it was built around a motif from Kraftwerk's 1981 song, Computer Love.
Aye, because this is like, to me, it's the second last song on the album of my own personal one that I would love to have just made it. But yeah, it's just like it just like really complements the songs that have come before it. It's in like a similar style. It's just like I just love every second of the first 6 songs on the album, and it's just got like a massive soundscape on the go as well. Yeah, it's like it's brilliant.
Actually, it's one of those songs I liked more after it was released as a single. Another great main guitar motif, another grandstanding Coldplay chorus, and my favourite part of the song is the kind of full-on guitar assault after the middle 8. That is absolutely immense. You know, it's almost like Coldplay have become a hard rock band for about 20 seconds. Okay, so that is 5 songs picked for side 1, which runs to 25 minutes. So we're going to take a break there and resume next week, pick side 2, look at the songs that didn't make it, rank the supercut of the album, recommend further listening by Coldplay, and debate where I'll place this album in the TTMF Hall of Fame. So thanks to Davie for joining me today, thanks for you for listening, and we'll look forward to you joining us again next week to complete the journey. So until then, keep trimming.
Trimming the Musical Fat podcast is a Stephen and Paul Nicholson production. We'd love to hear from you. You'll find our contact details in the episode description. Want more TTMF? Head to our socials. Join our Facebook group. Follow us on TikTok. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And check out our website at trimmingthemusicalfat.com.